Hello and welcome back to the channel Held Dominant. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you enjoy what you're seeing and if you want to continue seeing more. Coming up in this episode, for the first time ever, Women's Rugby League gets inductees to the Hall of Fame. Salford halfback receives Super League's top individual honour. And, I don't know. So with the grand final only 2 days away, Super League you would expect will be getting all the ducks in a row, keeping everything safe and secure, and have it done early in the week so that they can focus on a last minute push to sell tickets and to promote the game as a whole as well as the grand final, as it's their biggest spectacle of the year. But the RFL have decided to change their mind over a ban of a player who was initially ruled out due to being cited by the RFL themselves. This time it was in favour of St Helens Morgan Knowles, as he's now able to play in the grand final, despite initially losing an appeal against a 2-match suspension. The reigning champions then went back to the RFL judiciary, who with a second appeal, and St Helens won that according to the notes on the minutes. Morgan Knowles was sent to the sin bin for an alleged chicken wing, we've got to say now, after he applied pressure to the left arm of Chris Atkins during the Saints' win over Salford in the semi-final. With that, here are the notes from the actual appeal. Second appeal that was done Wednesday, the 21st of September 2022. Is Honourable Roger Thomas QCDL, as well as Danny Sculthorpe and Wilf George, who, if it's the same Wilf George, played for Huddersfield, Widnes, Halifax and Batley for a career between 1981 and 1992, all chaired the actual meeting. The notes are here. You can pause it for if you want, but these are the salient points. So in the first half of the statement, they talked about the actual incident, saying that the basis for the argument was that as the original tribunal had agreed that the action of Mr. Knowles was a professional foul in an attempt to slow down the play of the ball, they could not say that either the player's shoulder or indeed the player's wrist at any point was in a natural position, although it appeared that the attacking player's shoulder was put to the end of its range of normal motion. But they disregarded that more or less by the next sentence. Whilst there could be a risk, as with every tackle on the rugby pitch, due to the lack of movement beyond its natural range, there was not an unacceptable risk, despite the last tribunal saying that is an unacceptable risk and that form of tackling is outlawed for a reason. So we'll continue. Which was an element of the charge of all elements of the charge had to be met. Although the original tribunals believed that Mr. Knowles' actions caused the attacking player to twist his trunk in the same direction as Mr. Knowles was applying pressure, so as to avoid further injury to himself, and therefore in a vulnerable position, such that any further force from Mr. Knowles, or indeed any other tackler, could easily have caused injury. Their opinion that was an unacceptable risk taken by the player was wrong, as they already agreed that the arm was never in a non-natural position. Knowles' actions were, therefore, not reckless. Did they agree? We'll have to look at the minutes on that front, but they're available to you. The appeals panel did not hear any fresh evidence, as this was not a new hearing, but a review of the original hearing, and after deliberations they agreed that the original tribunal's ruling was that there was an unacceptable risk could not be the case if the player's arms never extended beyond the natural range of movement, and therefore deemed the appeal to be successful. So it's an extension of the original. They didn't listen to any new evidence. And do you know what would have been the best form of evidence? Chris Atkins' medical history with shoulder injuries. He's had quite a few during his career. You ask him. So range of movement could be diminished comparatively. Anyway, tell me what your thoughts are in the comment section below, as Morgan Knowles has got away with a ban. He's not the only one in the Saints team last week, as their starman Jack Welsby was let off a ban due to his previous good behaviour, despite him being cited twice already this season for a late tackle on Theo Farge and a high tackle on another player in the game before the Challenge Cup semi-final at Salford. So, champions bias is kind of my thoughts on that front. Don't get me wrong, the RFL have got precedent for this sort of incident, as Lee Smith was free to play in Saturday on the grand final for 2012 after he was found guilty for kicking Wigan Warriors Phil Bailey in the face during the semi-finals victory at Headingley over the Warriors. He could have been banned for up to 4 matches, but instead the two-try hero was given a £300 fine for reckless striking at the disciplinary hearing in Leeds the night before the game. So, I don't know what to make of it. Is it just champions bias at this point? Because if we have got that explanation, we need to kick it out. If a player's banned, they can't appeal twice. Well, it wasn't really another appeal, was it? Because it's an extension of the other appeal. Who chaired the next appeal, the next part, the adjournment, shall we call it? If it wasn't chaired by the same people, then why have they not made this a second appeal? Because they'd have to enter new evidence in it. And guess what? They would have threw everything, both sides, into the appeal process. They went into this year's rugby league seriously attacking serious foul play, whether it's head contact, a chicken wing, everything. The chicken wing was banned 2 years ago, and that sort of pressure was deemed unacceptable, and it led to player banning. But now they've basically said it's open season. Someone said it on Twitter, bet you, game 1, next season, someone is banned for applying unnatural pressure to a player's extremities. This week saw the Man of Steel Awards presented to each of the worthy winners of the 3 trophies on offer, whether that was the Ultimate Man of Steel Award, the Coach of the Year, or the Young Player of the Year awards. First of all, Salford Red Devils mercurial halfback Brodie Croft was named the 2022 Steve Prescott MBE Man of Steel, and Croft beat off competition from Jack Welsby and Jai Field to be crowned the Man of Steel in his first season with the Red Devils. Croft also becomes the second Salford player to win the award, following in the footsteps of Jackson Hastings, who lifted the trophy back in 2019. It was a season of 2 halves for the Salford Red Devils in 2022. And it was the dramatic second half turnaround in form that saw Croft climb the ladder in the weekly leaderboard for the award to be his. Croft claimed points in 6 of the Super League's last 9 fixtures to top the leaderboard at the end of the regular season when it comes to the point scoring system each player got every single week, according to a panel of pundits. This season, Croft missed just 1 regular season game in round 27, and in those appearances he contributed to 25 try assists and 7 tries to Salford's campaign. However, his involvement went deeper than scoring, having the top 10, featured in the top 10 of carries when he made 433 of them, and meters as well as clean breaks, running for 2,761 meters in attack with 30 clean breaks. Croft was presented with the award by 2 times Man of Steel and former teammate and friend of Steve Prescott, Paul Sculthorpe, MBE, at the Betfred Super League Awards in Leeds. Sculthorpe said of Croft, "Brodie has shown all season what an exceptional talent he is. His creative flair, leadership and doggedness have been a huge asset to Paul Rowley's rejuvenated Salford Red Devils team. It is no shock that the run Salford put together at the end of the season was mirrored by an exceptional series of performances from Brodie, highlighted by his 25 assists he provided this season." Croft, who also this year was named in the Super League Dream Team at number 7, said, "The journey I've been on this year has been unbelievable," said Croft, whose parents were in the audience at Headingley. "It's been a tough couple of years, but Salford gave me a chance and the coaching staff had so much belief in me. It helped me grow as a player this year to the extent I probably didn't think I was capable of. I had lost a bit of that enjoyment for rugby league, which is tough, because that's why we played it as a kid. You don't know if of it as a job or a chore. You think of it as something you love doing. The club embraced me, and I can't thank them enough." At the ceremony also, Coach of the Year went to Matty Peat of the Wigan Warriors, who said it was an honour for him to win the trophy, while Young Player of the Year went to Jack Wellsby, who won the trophy for the second time during his career, in the last 2 years. So the Rugby Football League and Rugby League Cares are coming together on the Thursday, October the 27th in Wigan to formally announce the 7 new entrants that will join the 28 current members in the Rugby League Hall of Fame. 4 of the best of the very best of the games since the sport began in 1895 from the men's side will be joining. Andy Farrell, OBE, Adrian Morley, Clive Sullivan, MBE, and Dave Watkins, MBE, are the latest players who have been identified as new entrants to the Hall of Fame. Outgoing Rugby League chairman, CEO Ralph Rimmer said about these 4 being inducted, "On behalf of the whole sport, I would like to congratulate Andy, Adrian, Clive and David on this wonderful achievement, which is so richly deserved. Millions of people have played this great sport in the last 127 years, and it's a testament to the quality of all 4 players that they are among 32 of the men's side that have been so far been selected to be included in the Rugby League Hall of Fame. We are looking forward to inducting these 4 sporting giants into the Hall of Fame next month on what will be undoubtedly a very special occasion. The induction will take place at a celebration dinner at the Edge Arena in Wigan on Thursday, October the 27th. At the same time in the event's history, the first members will be inducted into the newly established Women's Rugby League Hall of Fame. The inductions taking place will be for former Great Britain internationals Brenda Dobbeck, Lisa McIntosh and Sally Milburn to going in to the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame is administered by the RFL and Rugby League Cares in its charity capacity as champions of the sport's wonderful heritage. Players are selected for entry into the Hall of Fame by a panel of which comprises of members from across the sport, including administrators, former internationals, and historians. To be considered for elevation into the Hall of Fame, players must have played professional rugby league for at least 10 years, established a reputation that transcends the era in which they have played, and have a record of outstanding achievement at the highest level. The final eligibility criteria has been changed, with players now being required to have retired 5 years since their last appearance. It has previously been 10 years. So the inductees, first of all, Andy Farrell. In a 13-year career at Wigan, Farrell won 6 championships and 4 Challenge Cups, and was regarded as one of the most talented players of his generation. He captained both Wigan and Great Britain by example, and made 46 international appearances overall for Great Britain and England. Farrell played in 2 World Cup tournaments, and in 1996 became the youngest captain in the Lions history when he led the 1996 tour up to PNG, New Zealand and Fiji. With a world reputation, Adrian Morley established a reputation as being a consummate professional over his near 20-year career, when he was regarded as a player of fierce commitment who expected the same from those around him. He became the sport's most capped British player with 30 appearances for Great Britain and 23 for England. Morley was a Challenge Cup winner with Leeds in 1999 before joining the Sydney Roosters, with whom he won the Premiership in 2002 and the World Club Challenge in 2003. He had a short spell at Bradford in 2005 when he was a Grand Final winner with the Bulls, and a year later he returned to the UK to join Warrington. He captained the Wolves, and he led by example, enjoying Challenge Cup final success in 2009, 2010 and 2012, where as well he made his Super League Grand Final appearance in 2012. Cardiff-born Clive Sullivan was the last Great Britain captain to lift the World Cup trophy, leading the nation to success in 1972. He made over 550 appearances for Hull FC and Hull KR between 1961 and 1980, scoring a remarkable 365 tries, where 247 was for Hull and 118 was for the Robins. He toured with the Lions in 1970, the last time a British team won the Ashes as well. In the 1972 World Cup, he scored a try in each of Great Britain's 4 games, and scored a spectacular try to level the scores at 10-10 against Australia in the final. He also captained Wales in the 1975 World Cup, where we led them to victory over England. Sullivan played 47 times for Wales and Great Britain, and made a total of 639 appearances during his rugby league career. This included Challenge Cup wins for Hull KR in 1980, FC in 1982, and in the replay at the age of 39. Unfortunately, he passed away in 1985, aged just 42. And finally, on the men's side, David Watkins. And after joining Salford from Welsh Rugby Union in 1967 at the age of 25, Watkins went on to play 466 games as a rugby league player, including over 400 for Salford, 22 for Wales and 13 for Great Britain. He is also Salford's record point scorer at 2,907 and scored 92 consecutive matches for the Salford Red Devils. Watkins played in all 6 games of the Wales 1975 World Cup also. Speaking about the induction of the 4 men, Rugby League Cares chairman Tim Adams, MBE, said, "We would like to congratulate the 4 new inductees on the elevation into the Hall of Fame, which is deserved recognition of their immense talent. Andy, Adrian, Clive and David created magical memories for millions of sports fans across the world during their illustrious careers, and it is right and proper that they have been recognised in this way." On the side of the Women's Hall of Fame, we have the three inductees. First of all, on the left, Brenda Dobek, a true pioneer, leading Great Britain to Ashes victory in Australia in 1996, winning a total of 20 caps and giving outstanding services at club level to Wakefield Panthers, Townville and Featherstone Rovers. Then going on to coach her country with distinction, including in the 2008 World Cup. A skillful athletic stand-up, she played until the age of 45 and was a consistent inspiration. In the top right, we have Lisa McIntosh, and she was the international teammate of Dobek's, although a club rival with Bradford and Dudley Hill, and merited the same similar description. Her trailblazing as one of the early leaders in Great Britain Women's Rugby League had additional racial and positional dimensions. She is thought of to be the first black woman's captain to captain a British team, and she was co-captain for the 1996 Ashes tour, and then in sole charge for the trip to New Zealand 2 years later. She also set new standards of athleticism for a forward in the women's game. She retired at the age of 42, and like Dobek, she also qualified for the elite coaching programme. And last but not least, we have Sally Milburn, who was a champion for Cumbria in her 23-cap career in the Great Britain pack, earning international recognition through her performances for Barrow and Ascham. She was named in the World 17 following her performances in the World Cup in New Zealand back in 2003, having toured Australia twice in 1996 and 2002. She joins the Yorkshire woman Dobek and McIntosh in the Women's Hall of Fame, following in the footsteps of fellow Cumbrians Dougie Clark, Martin Hodgson and Willie Horne, who were elected to the Hall of Fame in 2005 in cases of Clark and Hodgson, while in 2014 in the case of fellow Barrovian Horne. You can get to this Hall of Fame ceremony by visiting the Rugby League Cares website and emailing catherine.maddy@rugbyleague.cares.org.uk. A table of 10 to the 2022 induction ceremony dinner costs £500, and to book tickets and more information, please just get in touch with the Rugby League Cares event manager, Catherine Maddy. And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share this video worldwide, as well as clicking that notification bell for any updates on new videos that may be coming your way in the near future. Tell me what your thoughts are on the episode in the comment section below. There's a lot to go through, I know, but tell me your opinions on the Knowles situation. It appears that they've jumped on a technicality on the first meeting, appeal, whatever you want to call it, where they said they agree that the tackle wasn't warranted. It was the impact afterwards that was the yellow card and possible ban situation. Make of that as you will. See Richard Silverwood's Twitter explanation or what he thought of the entire situation. Like I said in my piece with Morgan Knowles, as soon as someone gets banned for it next year, they can cite this as precedent and it not have a ban. Anyway, comment section is open to you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. I'll now end the episode as I normally do by wishing you all the best. So please stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode.